Shalom and welcome to a Mindful Yogi. Today I have for you a well-rounded Vinyasa Flow, a little bit spicy, some strength and balance. It is a progressive flow, so we will be building on it. So unroll your mat. Before we get into the practice, I would like to invite you to visit my website, A Mindful Yogi. I love to journal. I write poetry, so you can find lots of amazing writings on there. And of course, there is yoga. It's a free website, so just come over. I have a bottle of water and a journal nearby. At the end of today's practice, we will be doing some visualization exercise to attract what we want. You may have ideas, thoughts, memories, so just have it handy. Now let us set up for our first pose. Flex your toes and sit back on your heels. We are going to be stretching out our wrists before we begin this practice. So fan your hands out and place them on either side of the mat. Now release the weight of your upper body over your hands and start to roll from side to side, rolling around your wrists. Take circles in one direction and then reverse in the other direction. Notice how your wrists feels. Notice how your body feels. Right palm so that your fingers face towards the back of the mat. Roll your weight over that palm, seeing where you feel the stretch the most. Repeat on the left palm. Out the wrists, and let's try that again simultaneously on both hands. Rocking to the front and to the back. In a minute we are going to shake that out and place the back of our hands onto the mat with the fingers facing the back of the mat. Then we are going to rock from side to side, front and back, finding where we feel that the most. This is really a wrist-heavy practice. And now we are ready. Let's come to the back of our mat. Stretch into child's pose. Sink the butt towards the heels. Lay the abdomen flat on the ground and stretch the arms in front of you. Let your breath become your core focus and find the word that resonates with you today as your intention. Slowly let your arms become heavy, lifting your upper body from the mat into this version of cobra with the feet touching each other. Hunch your back and ripple your body back into child's pose. And with the next in-breath, bend your back and come into this mini cobra with the feet kissing each other and pointing up to the sky. This time, as you ripple back into child's pose, allow your body to move in a way that feels good. Round your back, bend your back, round your head. Just move in a way that feels comfortable, preparing yourself for this practice. Fill your lungs with air, then constrict the back of your throat and breathe out against closed lips through the nose. Come into child's pose for a brief second, and then let's push up into our first downward facing dog. Paddle the left leg and then the right leg on the ground. Look to the front of your space and step to the front. Halfway lift, breathe in, fold, breathe out. Breathe in, hands to the sky, palms touch, grow taller. Breathe out, left leg behind right leg, stretched outside the right corner of the mat and side bend to the right side. Breathe out. Come back to center, grow taller. Breathe in. Stretch the right leg behind the left leg. Side bend to the left. Breathe out. Come back to center, grow tall. Breathe in. Fold completely on the mat. Breathe out. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Step hands on mat. Stretch legs behind plank. Breathe out. Downward facing dog. Stretch back. Breathe in. We are going to paddle the heels on the mat. Take a deep breath out here. And we are going to repeat that flow. Once we are ready, look to the front of the mat. Step to the front of the mat. Breathe in. Fold. Breathe out. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Fold. Again. Breathe out. Lift the hands to the sky to touch at the top. Breathe in. Stretch up. Left leg behind right leg. Side bend to the right. Breathe out. Come to center. Lift higher. Breathe in. Cross right leg behind and out. Breathe out. Side bending to the left. Come back to center. Breathe in. Lift higher. Fold over the legs. Breathe out. Halfway lift. Breathe in. And step on the mat. Plank. Breathe out. And then stretch back into downward facing. Breathe in. Paddle the feet. Take some cycle of breaths here. Observe how the body feels. Now wave your spine slowly as you come into a plank at the top of the mat. Bend into your heels, sit back, and then step both legs to the front of the mat. Fold over legs, breathe out. Halfway lift, breathe in. Stretch up to the sky so that palms touch. Breathe out. Stretch up, breathe in. Left leg behind right leg. Breathe out, side bend to the right. Make it your best one yet. Breathe in, stretch up, and breathe out. Right leg behind, left leg, side bend to the left. Breathe in, come back to center, stretch up, fold over the feet. Breathe out, halfway lift, breathe in, hands on the mat, stretch into plank, breathe out. Bend your arms into chaturanga, breathe in, upward facing, breathe out. Move into downward facing, breathe in and out. Right leg lifts to the sky, breathe in. Right leg bends at the knee. Then bring your right leg to left. Elbow, breathe out. Now stretch your right leg to the left, keeping it an inch off the ground. Raise your left hand to the sky in this version of fallen star. Arm raises above head. Now drop your feet down and really stretch your left side body, breathing out. Sit down to the facing the back of the mat, hands raised to the sky, breathe in, fold between your thighs, breathe out. Bring your right hand onto the front of the mat, lift back into fallen star, breathe in, bend the right knee in, come into plank and turn into side plank on the right side, bringing your right leg into any variation you wish. Breathe out here. Right arm above the head. Breathe out, side bend on the right side. Lift the right leg up, bend at the knee, breathe in, and slowly bring it to the top of the mat, stepping into crescent. Breathe in, rise up, inner thighs hugging to each other. Now turn into twisted high lunge. Breathe out. Right arm gently grazes the back of left thigh. Left hand raises to the sky. Reverse crescent lunge. Breathe in. And then turn into warrior two. Breathe out. Reverse warrior. Breathe in. Warrior two. Breathe out. Legs come a little bit closer to each other. Lift up and then clasp both hands behind. Lift chest to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. Fold halfway and then completely over the right leg. Lifting the clasp hands to the sky. Place both hands to the mat. Step back into three-legged plank. Breathe in here. Chaturanga. Breathe out. Upward facing. Breathe in. Then downward facing dog. Breathe out. Take a full cycle of breath here before we move to the left side. Left leg raises to the sky. Breathe in. Bend at the knee. Now bring the left leg all the way over to the right elbow. Breathe out and step to hover over the right side. Right hand raises to the sky. Breathe in and then goes over the head. Hold the leg just a little bit higher and then place it on the ground. Stretch all the way. Fallen star. Breathe out. Sit your butt back to the ground, facing the back of the mat. Stretch high. Breathe in. Bend between your legs. Breathe out. Little bit of rest before we continue. Few more cycles of breath. Left hand meets the ground behind you. Breathe in. Raise back into fallen star. Breathe out. Right hand touches the mat and transition into side plank with any variation of the leg. Hand stretches above the head. Breathe out. A few cycles of breath here before you slowly breathe in and raise the left leg to the chest and slowly bring it to the top of the mat. Lift into crescent. Lift high to sink deep. Breathe out. Twist both hands into twisted high lunge. Breathing in. Left hand grazes right thigh. Right hand raises to the sky. Breathe out. Revolved crescent lunge. And then unravel your twist into warrior two. Breathing out. Reverse your warrior. Breathe in. Look back to the front of the mat. Bring the legs closer together. Stretch up to the sky. Clasp the hands behind you. Chest lift to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe. When you breathe out, you fold over your left leg. Hands reach to the sky. And release your hands back to the mat. Step back into three-legged plank. Breathe in, chaturanga. Breathe out, upward facing dog. Breathe in, downward facing dog. Observe if and where your mind wanders to when things get intense. Now lift your right leg to the sky. Breathe in, bend at the knee. Look forward and bring your right knee to right elbow. Breathe out. Right knee to the sky. Breathe in. Come to the center. Breathe out. Right knee to the sky. Breathe in. Come to the left elbow. Breathe out. And turn, hovering your right leg out, lifting your left hand to the sky. Hold here, then release everything into fallen star. Breathing out. Start to sit at the back of the mat. Hands reach to the sky. Breathing in. Fold. Breathe out. Did you observe the internal dialogue in your head during that little strength move? Right hand back to the front of the mat. Breathe in, back into fallen star. Breathe out. Right knee bends into the chest. Breathe in, transition into side plank on the right side. Lift your hands to the sky and bring your leg into tree pose. Right leg comes into the inside of the left thigh. Breathe out. Right arm stretches above the head. Now release the right leg from the left thigh and slowly bring it to the front of the mat. Crescent lunge. Now we are going to take dips with the left knee to the ground. 1, 2, breathe in and out here. Breathe out on the way down, in on the way up. 4, and last time going down. Now dip the left knee again and come into the twisted high lunge. Then right arm raises the left thigh and stretch into revolved crescent lunge. Breathe out here. Unravel, transitioning into warrior 2. Breathe in. Reverse the warrior, breathing out. Now Skandasana to the back of the mat. Breathe in. Reverse your warrior. Breathe out. Now bring your legs closer together. Lift high up. Breathing in. Clasp the hands behind. Chest lifts to the sky. Breathe in. and fold over legs. Coming to a halfway lift and then fold completely. The clasp hands go to the sky. Now we are going to practice lifting into handstand, if using it as a means to transition into plank pose. So let's use the momentum and just try to lift into our hands. It does not have to be perfect. Left leg goes to the sky. Let's try one more time. Lift and come into three-legged plank, chaturanga. Upward, lift high up. Downward, release everything. Yo, ready for the left side? I hope you are, because I am. Lift left leg to the sky. Breathe in, bend at the knee. Look forward, left knee to left elbow. Breathe out. Left knee to the sky. Breathe in. Left knee to the nose. Breathe out. Left knee to the sky. Breathe in. Left knee to the right elbow. Breathe out. Stretch the left leg to the right side. Breathe in. Right hand goes to the sky. Hover your left leg. And then stretch everything out. Release. Breathe out. Slowly lower your bum to the mat. Both hands raised to the sky. Breathe in. Fold between your thighs. Breathe out. Take this little rest in between to really check in with yourself. Body-mind connection. Now bring your left hand to the mat. Raise back up into fallen star. And then bring the left leg back into the chest. And transition into side plank on the other side with the legs in tree pose. Breathe in here. Left leg inside of right thigh. Observe what you feel in this moment. Look to the front of the mat. Left leg rises up. Slowly goes to the top of the mat. Breathe in, lift up. Breathing out into crescent lunge. Now let's get ready for those dips in the knees. We didn't forget that. 1. Breathe in to rise up. 2. Breathe in to rise up. 3. Breathe in. 4. And 5. Breathe out. Breathe in to rise up. Now in your next breath, bend your knees and come into revolved high lunge. Breathe in. For these longer holds, please don't take either an inhale or an exhale, but do both. Take cycles of breath. Stretch to the back. Breathe out. So much breath to movement, but in longer holds, take cycles of breath. Turn into warrior 2. Breathe in here. Really feel your lungs expand with the in-breath. Reverse. Breathe out. Skandasana to the back of the mat. Breathe in. Reverse warrior. Breathe out. Now come to the front of the mat. Hands to the sky. Breathe in. Lift high. Clasp hands behind you. Chest to the sky. Breathe in. Fold halfway and then completely breathe out. Now let's do those mini lifts. If you can call them a handstand, I just call them transitioning into planks because they're not really handstands. We don't hold it in the air. So when you're ready, look to the front of the mat and using momentum, push at least 3 times with your right leg in the sky into this handstand variation. Now jump back into 3-leg plank, chaturanga. Breathe in, upward facing. Breathe out, downward facing. Breathe in. Now we are going to pick up the pace a little bit, so let's go. 1 cycle of breath here. Then right leg to the sky, bend at the knee, to the right elbow. Breathe in, knee to sky, to the center. Breathe out, knee to sky, to the left. Breathe out and hover the right leg to the sky, left hand up to the ceiling. Now listen carefully. Bring left hand to hold right leg, right feet, and stretch it all the way above the head. Tricky transition, I know, but it strengthens your arms and your legs a lot. Breathe deeply in and out. Release right leg, hands to the ground, and transition into side plank with 3-leg pose. Breathing in here. Breathe out. 1 more cycle of breath. Bring your feet to the top of the mat. Breathe in, stretch high. Breathe out deep. 2, 3, 4. Last 1. Bend legs and come into revolved high chair. Reverse crescent. Warrior 2. Side lunge. Reverse warrior. Breathe out. Side lunge. Breathe in. Reverse. Breathe out. Listen carefully. Step your feet to the front of the mat and come into chair pose. Now placing your weight onto the left leg, begin to lift your right heel from the ground to the chest and bring it to cross over the left leg, preferably without hands. Deep inhales and exhales here. We can do this. Bring your right leg back, stretch it in front of you. Then bring it all the way behind into Warrior 3. Both hands to the ground. Standing split, breathe out. Maybe one hand or both hand comes off the mat. Now let's play with that handstand using momentum. Transition into three-legged plank. Chaturanga. Now push up back into three-legged plank. Chaturanga again, breathe in, then upward facing dog, breathe out. Come into downward facing dog, breathe in and breathe out. Left leg to the sky, breathe in, bend at the knee. Left leg to left elbow, breathe out. Left knee to the sky, to the nose, breathe out, to the sky, and to the right side. Breathe out, and lift hand to the sky, breathe in. Now bring right hand to catch left feet and stretch it all the way above the head. It is kind of a wonky pose, but it's soon over. Now stretch the right hand above and place it on the ground. Turn to the left side into side plank with three pose legs. Breathe in, stretch to the sky. Breathe out, hand above head. Left leg comes to the front of the mat. Hands lift to the sky. Breathe in, deep. Breathe out, deep. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. Now leg step to the front of the mat. Child's pose. Now lift your left leg off the mat. Hold, breathe, and cross it over your right knee. Sink deeper if you can. This is a good stretch now for the left hip. So don't say I didn't do anything nice. Now lift it back and stretch it in front of you. Little wonky, really wonky. Now bring the left leg behind into Warrior 3. Now this is not my best Warrior 3 shape. I guess I was really tired after all those. Bring both hands to the ground. Yeah, standing splits. And now let's practice our handstand. 3 is the magic number. And then 3-legged plank. Let's dip our shoulders, chaturanga, and then stretch it back into plank. Last time chaturanga, upward facing, move into downward facing. Now let's dip our heels to the ground, sit in front of the mat, stretch our legs in front of the mat, and come into boat pose, lifting both legs off the ground. Keep your core tight. In a moment, we are going to stretch out our right leg. Breathe in, bring it to the midline, breathe out, stretch out left leg, breathe in, bring to the midline, breathe out, and then both legs come into low boat pose. And both hands reach towards the right side, to the middle. Breathe in left side, breathe out to the middle, breathe in right side, breathe out middle, left, middle, in, out, out. Hold it here in the middle, and then everything goes to the ground. We did it. Take a few breaths here to really get yourself centered. Cross right leg over left leg. Figure 4 stretch here. Notice how your body feels. You just crushed that. Now bend both legs towards the left side, twisting through your waist. And if you want more, catch your left leg and stretch your quads, your left quads. Breathe deep in and out. Unravel from this twist. Let's go with the left side. Figure 4 stretch. Hands may come to the back of the right leg. This was incredibly difficult, so I commend you if you actually did it and not just sit down on the couch and watch. Twists to the right side. Let me know also in the comments if you like more of these yoga sculpt flows. Bend your right leg behind you and stretch it out with your left hand. Really nice twist to stretch the whole body. Unravel from this. Come into child's pose, catching both legs with both hands. Stretch out the right leg. Bring it to center, then the left leg. Observe how it feels on either side. Bring it back to center. And let's try with both legs stretched out. Bring them down to the mat into butterfly legs. stretching out the inner thigh. You can release your Ujjayi breath. Let the rhythm of your breath go back, fall back to its normal rhythm. Stretch out into Savasana. So let me know in the comments if you like this, if you want more of this. Subscribe and like and share. That really helps me, brings me forward. One moment of silence here. Slowly bring yourself up from the mat and let's try some more breath work. Now, cross both legs, breathe in, touch your diaphragm. When you breathe out, round your back, bring your hands in front of you like this. When you breathe in, let your hands slowly graze your diaphragm. And when you breathe out, round your back. Last one. Good. Let your hands fall to both sides of your knee. Breath goes back to normal. Now let's do a short visualization practice. Remember your intention at the beginning of the practice. I want you to visualize in your mind with what means you choose to use to achieve that specific goal or that specific intention. For example, your intention is to have a peaceful day. Imagine yourself lying next to a river on the nice soft grass, looking at the sky, feeling peaceful. Or your intention was success at work. Imagine going into work using the elevator, and when you come out of the elevator, you hear great job from your boss, great job from your colleagues. You sit down in front of your computer and you feel confident. What are you wearing in your mind's eye? Are you indoors or outdoors? How is the weather? Are you wearing perfume? If yes, how does it smell like? Now raise both hands to the sky, clasp them and bring them to the middle of your mind's eye. Yes. Slowly bring them to your chest. Thank yourself for showing up and being present. Let me know if you like more visualization practices like this one. Today is going to be a great day. Bye.